Okay, so I forgot to talk about a few things that I do want to talk about now. I've referenced them but didn't really address them. So let's talk indent styles. Just so you know, the overall topic right now of this video is compiling a Java class and correcting syntax errors. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advice on how to do that up front in your first few days coding. You need to use an indent style that uses white space to organize code and improve readability. It's really up to you how to do that, but it helps. There's just a variety of things you can do that can help you do that, and you'll see that as I code, as modeling in the class. For every opening curly brace in a Java program, there must be a corresponding closing curly brace. So make sure that your braces are open and closed, and the placement of those opening and curly braces is not important to the compiler. I will let you guys know that almond style is used in the text, and I'm going to recommend almond style, but you don't know what almond style is, so let's talk about it. Almond style looks like this. We put the braces on the next line. The reason this is important, or I think it's valuable for you to use up front, is because this tells you I've got an open brace, I got a closing brace. You can see it very well. This is known as BSD style from Berkeley, or block indenting. Each opening brace is placed on a new line intended to align with the corresponding block start. The closing brace is placed on its own line, aligned with the start of the block. This increases readability due to visual clear separation of blocks, and it's more consistent indentation even for nested structures. Basically, it makes it easier to code when you're starting to code. Now, I know that some people listening to this video have coded before, and they're very used to the K&R style. I often code in K&R style, and when I'm writing on a whiteboard, I might use it. It does save space, and it has its own aesthetic. And this is what K&R style looks like. The brace follows the header, and then the closing brace is over here. It does make it harder to know if you've opened and closed all your braces. So that's why new programmers often prefer the almond style. Almond style, I think, is more aesthetically pleasing. This style is known as the one true brace style. The opening brace is placed at the end of the line introducing the block, and the closing brace is placed on its own line, aligned with the start of the function or control statement. It is more compact and space efficient, which is why often when I write on a board, I will go with K&R style. And a lot of the code I've written in the past follows this style. It's preferred by some C programmers and for embedded systems due to its reduced vertical space usage. It makes your classes smaller, you know. And so these are some styling things that you might consider. I would recommend you use almond. It's what we use in the text. It's what I'm going to model in the class. Ultimately, if you submit code using K&R, I will not complain. When you save a Java class, you must save the class in a file, and I know I said this multiple times, with exactly the same name, same capitalization, and Java extension. For public classes, the class name and file name must match exactly. All right, so let's get back to correcting syntax errors. All right, compiling the source code into bytecode and translating the bytecode into executable statements. That's what compiling does. We use a Java interpreter to take that compile and interpret it for the computer to understand. We can run a program running Java C, first.java, which you have seen us do. Let me pop open the editor again. You have seen us work here with Java C first, and you might get an error. I will not be able to reproduce that error, but you can see what we type in here. That's what you expect to see. If you get an error, it may be because you don't have Java installed. If you don't have and if you don't have Java installed, it won't obviously run Java C. You might get program language error message or no messages indicating, or actually if you get no messages, that means it's successfully completed. So you see my window here, this completed correctly because I got no messages, right? So the reason for error messages, did you misspell the command Java C? Let me show you what that looks like. I should get an error. It says the term Java V is not recognized as the name of an outlet function, script file, or operable program. This means that we misspelled it. Did you misspell the file name? So for example, if I say something I've been trying to say all day, frist.java, it's going to give me file not found error. And are you in the correct subfolder or directory? I know that most people don't think about directory structures, but just be aware that directory structures matter, and I would spend some time practicing where you put your files, otherwise you're going to lose them. So in my case, I'll just kind of show you real quick for this course what I have done. I have a volume F I've created to hold most of my documents. Within my documents, let me put this on the screen so you can see it pretty clearly. Within my documents, I created a folder called COSC 1436 Fall 2023, and you can see that all of my files are in here that I'm playing with right now, right? That way I know exactly where they are, and I've made sure that my file path is directed towards that directory here. That way I know where things are and that it's working correctly. Understanding file paths and directory structures is important in this game. So if you haven't had experience messing with file structures and directories, make sure you do so. All right, correcting syntax errors. The first line of the error message displays the name of the file where the error was found, the line number, the nature of the error. The next lines identify the symbol, the location. A compile time error detects a violation of language rules, refuses to translate the class to machine code. And parsing is when the compiler divides source code into meaningful portions. Let me just jump in here and show you real quick a quick syntax error, something that I'm sure you might have issues with for a little bit. Say I'll have the semicolon off, right? I'm going to go ahead and compile this program. I'm going to say Java C first. That's not. I told you I was trying to spell first all day. First.java. It compiled it. Now let me run Java first. Because I didn't save it. Now I know why I compiled it. Okay. Java C first. Now it's going to tell me you got a syntax error. On line 5, it's telling me a semicolon was expected. Common syntax error. So I'm going to come up here and put a semicolon, and I'm going to take away this parenthesis. By the way, you can tell here when I took away that quotation mark, all the colors changed weirdly. But we're going to save this, Control S. I'm going to come back down on my interface. I'm going to say Java C. It says unclosed string literal on line 5. I'm going to close that string literal, and I'm going to do another syntax error and just take away that parenthesis, right? Now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to try to compile it now. And you're going to see that I got an error. It says parenthesis expected, and you might be wondering, well, if it knows the parenthesis was expected, why doesn't it just add the parenthesis? Because it's your job to do that, right? Okay, it's Java C first program. Now I can run it, and you can see what it does there. So that's kind of how we correct syntax errors. We look at the line, we find out what's wrong, and we try to fix it, right? After a while, you should get used to these syntax errors and what they're telling you. You should be able to run back and do them. But please, please, please read your syntax errors before you ask for help, just so we kind of know what's going on. All right. I'm going to end the recording here.